Hello again. So in this lesson we'll look at how to play the really cool memorable part from Thunderstruck by ACDC. Now before we start into this really cool lead guitar part that we're going to learn, the technique we need to use is something called alternate picking. So if this is totally new to you, you can listen to what I'm about to say. If you just want to get stuck into the song, I'll put a timestamp in where you can go forward in the video and just get stuck into it. So all I want you to practice, if you haven't done this sort of thing before, or you want a bit of help with improving the technique, is you take your pick, you're just going to be using the second string, first, second string, the B string, and all this guy is going to be doing the whole time is constantly picking down and up on that string over and over again. Throughout this whole piece, that is all that's ever going to do. Down, up constantly. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Over and over again. Now, what I want you to think about when you're doing this is where you set up the hand and then the angle that you're picking the string at. So I'm going to give you a close-up of how I set up my hand and how the pick actually hits the strings, okay? So I'll give you a close-up of that now. So that's all our picking hand has to do here. Stay on one string and alternate pick the whole time. So use this lower part of the guitar and those thicker strings to rest on. They're not getting used, so you can just rest there. Then do not pick the string straight on. Cut across it at an angle. You'll be able to get through the string with less resistance and build up the speed more. And in this case I would suggest get the movement coming from the wrist as opposed to the elbow. Small even movements. You don't need big, wide, unnecessary movements. We don't need that. So, before we get stuck in, just practice that again. And take notes of the points that it was giving you in the close-up. Okay, let's go then. So the first part, I'm going to recommend use your first finger and your little finger. Okay? So take your first finger and go to fret 4 of that second string. And then you're going to need also your little finger to hit the 7s on that string. Now a lot of people will play it with first and third finger, and that's totally fine, but if I was going to teach you in person I would tell you to do it this way, so that's the way I'm going to do it now. So what happens is this. So we're doing this would be called a pedal point lick, because you're pedaling off that open second string. Pick 4, that's with a downstroke. The open string, 0, will be with an upstroke. And then go to 7, pick that with a downstroke. And then pick up on the open string. So if you can get this bit going, you're going to be set up well for getting the song, okay? Just practice that for now. And speed-wise, obviously, all of us want to play this very fast, maybe even faster than the song itself. If you cannot do that yet and you're messing things up and everything's uncoordinated, do it slow and don't get frustrated and annoyed with yourself if you have to do it slowly. You gotta start somewhere. So if you have to do it this slow, that's fine. So do that little lick 8 times, okay? So that's 1. We gotta do it 8 times though. Okay? Then shift that shape up 1 fret. First finger takes care of 5, little finger takes care of 8 now. Do all the same stuff though. And before you worry about the rest of the song, get those 2 pieces working together. Now throughout this, I would encourage you to get a nice thumb position in the middle of the shape you're making and down the back, not poking up like this. If you have small hands like me, that's going to be especially difficult to get these fingers mobile. But even if you don't have small hands, it's good for your overall technique if you get used to that posture more. Okay, especially for this kind of more articulate lead stuff where you're maybe doing these big stretches. Then we're into a section that pretty much takes care of the rest of the song. So we'll break it into little bits. So this is the first bit we're going to learn. I'll just repeat that for you. So, like down here, we had our hand in this position. We're going to take a similar posture and position up here. Little finger, I'm going to say go to fret 12. Middle finger will go to fret 10. First finger will go to fret 9. So those guys are just sitting ready in a little box with a good thumb position and posture, okay? And we're doing the same kind of idea with the first part of this tune we were learning, where all the downstrokes you'll be hitting are on the fretted notes and all the upstrokes are on that open string that we're bouncing off. So 12, 0, 10, 0, 9, 0, and back to 10, 0. Just get that little section going. So if this is kind of your first attempt at this kind of fancy, fast lead guitar playing, if you will, then you've got to take this slow. But once you become more proficient at these things, you can vary the speed you play it at. So what I mean is, just take it slowly and comfortably at first, but deliberately throw in some fast repetitions. And what that's going to do is it'll build up your tolerance for playing at a faster speed. So deliberately throw in some fast ones. Before slowing down and going to a comfortable speed. And I would say if you're working on building up the speed like that, don't worry if it gets a bit messy at times, but you've got to come back to a comfortable speed where you know you're doing things right again. So the next little section we're going to learn is this. So that's 9-0, 7-0. Just with your first finger there, I would recommend. And take your third finger to another 9-0. And then go down to 5-0 with your first finger. So just get that little section going now. Okay, and you've got to imprint the muscle memory in stages when you're doing this, okay? And then what's good to do is go back to what you've learned so far. So I'm not going to go back to the 4, 7, 5, 8 bit just at the minute. We'll go back to 12 where we started up here. And then the new bit. And now we're going to try and paste those together. So our next little section is take your third finger, go to fret 7. You could do this with the pinky, but I tend to find people remember it better if they just go with their third finger. So play 7-0. Then first finger goes down to 4, so 4-0. Middle finger takes care of 5-0. Let me just put that together. And then the ending will go like this. I'll just put it on the end for you. So let's try and put all those bits together. And then you just keep repeating that now. So here's a slow playthrough for you now. So I'll play through it more up to speed with the tune now. Now then, there is something else that you can practice with this called legato. So this is very good for building up the strength on these fingers, and it'll actually help you imprint the muscle memory more. So we're not going to do anything with the pick, okay, except to use this hand to do some muting of the other strings, which I'll go over with a close-up. During the legato parts, have your thumb blocking those lower strings if you can, or the back of your hand. Just get those lower strings blocked somehow. And you can use your middle finger to latch on to the first string that's not involved either. So everything is muted. except that B string that you want to come out. But what I want you to do now is do all the same stuff with this hand, but you're not going to involve the pick. So you're going to do these constant hammer on pull off bits, just letting these fingers take care of the notes. So I'll show you what I mean. So all I'm doing there is, to get the notes to come out and articulate, is you're going to grab the notes that you're fretting anyway, and then just kind of pull the string a little bit, not too much, because it's going to sound a bit dodgy if you do that. So pull that note, and what you're actually doing there is hammering onto the string and flicking off or a pull off, and it gets the note to come out. And it's tricky to do that with your little finger. I would practice it that way, but you could do it with the third finger. It's certainly easier to do it that way. So, you know, practice both ways actually, I would say. So, you know, you can totally play the song like this. Like on the studio version, it's definitely picked like that. But this, I find, imprints the muscle memory a bit more on your fretting hand. Because it is much more tense. I think this is much more difficult to play it this way. And just vary the speed, see if you can get that going. And I'll show you what it would sound like if you applied it to the whole thing then. So it's much harder to articulate the note that way, but what you'll find is it's really worked out these fingers well after you've finished with that.